60-70%. That's got to be healed. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully he can come back.
Tucker Teske steps in. Center fielder was 1 for 2 in their matchup on Tuesday up at Stamford Field. Faust on the mound. He's into his windup, and we are underway with a strike.
Yeah, Jake's a strike machine. He's not going to overpower anybody, and all he has to do for this team is pitch, and he's done a good job of it this year. So expect quick delivery and a lot of strikes.
Here it is again. It's hit to center. Tegan Christensen in on it. Playing center field in place of Brennan, runs into his right and makes the catch. So 1 up and 1 down as Teske flies out to center. And now Jonah Hafner will be the batter. Junior was not in the lineup on Tuesday when these two teams met. In fact, only 5 of the starters even hit.
Right, and their best player, Lund, who's headed to Gonzaga to play baseball, Stephen Lund, who missed most of last year with an arm injury. I'm not sure if it was Tommy John, if it was a shoulder or what it was, but I know it was an arm injury. Not in the lineup today, and, maybe a case of this game, regular season-wise doesn't mean much, so they may be saving him. I don't know if he can pitch yet. I don't think he can. I don't think he's thrown it all this year, but certainly bat-wise, a big cog in their lineup.
High fastball for a ball to start with, and then Hafner fouls one back over the screen. It's 1-1, and Faust coming back. About a letter-high fastball for ball 2. 2-1, 1 down here, just underway at Riverside Park. Nice warm day for baseball.
Field looks great once again.
2-1, again high, and it's 3-1 on the Verona second baseman.
Just when I say that Faust throws strikes,
what are you doing,
buddy? It's 3-1.
He got his pitching stats somewhere. Here's the windup and the pitch. There's a strike. Just in there. Faust has pitched in 7 games. He's 4-0. He's pitched 23 in a third innings. Here's the pitch.
Not sure you can ask for much more than that.
Inside and a walk issued to Jonah Hafner, and the batter will be the shortstop, Connor McGowan.
Because Faust probably Craig's number 4 man. Obviously, Wolfley.
That was only
Wolfley 1, Overly 2nd. I would say Noah Berghammer's probably their 3rd, and then Faust. I mean, your number 4 guy's 4-0 on the year. That's a pretty good sign that your pitching staff's got some depth.
Only the 5th walk given up by Faust. Swings at the first pitch. It's in play in the infield. Who's calling for it? Jacob Campbell, halfway up the first baseline. So Connor McGowan retired, the shortstop, on 1 pitch. And a fly out to Campbell, and there's 2 out. Now here's Tristan Largent. More on Faust, 19 strikeouts. He's only given up 1 earned run.
Yeah, like I say, he's
an ERA of .3.
Vic will tell you, he knows his only role on this team is to pitch every 4th game, and and that's what he does, and he does it well.
So Largent steps in. High and maybe a tad outside.
And if you look ahead, usually, I think back to when Craig won state and Nick Kramer was a sophomore. He's kind of in the same boat. Faust is as Kramer, where Kramer got the nod in the state championship game, and all he did was shut down Kimberly and bring him a state title. So Faust could certainly, if the Cougars get that far, the first 2 games you'd obviously see Wolfley and Overly, and you might have to bring in relief at some point. That might leave Faust as your starting pitcher in the championship game.
Faust has only given up 20 hits. Opponents batting just .230 against him. He's at 1-1 on Largent, the DH. Runner at first is Hafner. Here's the pitch. High and outside, 2-1.
And I think when I've talked to Vic about Faust and just the kind of year he's had, I said, what's made him successful? And he'll tell you, he's got kind of a herky-jerky motion where it's tough to pick up the ball. He's kind of got a late release point where you don't see it right away, and it gets on you a little quicker than you think.
Here's the pitch. Grounded to second. Berghammer has it, flips to Malmanger, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left for Verona after 1/2 inning. Wildcats nothing, and the Cougars coming to bat. And he was out for a couple of games with.
Well, if you're going to have this situation pop up, now's a good time because you got a week off to get ready for tournament play.
And this game really doesn't mean much.
Right, and I think other than Brennan's illness, I don't think anything else is real serious. I think it was probably more of just a precautionary thing.
Sure.
Especially with the illnesses where he just said, hey, look, guys, we've been, successful because of everybody on the roster, not just the 9 guys that we normally play. So
not only that, but stay away from us so you don't get us sick heading into next week. So Grant Kelleher on the mound. Opening pitch to Blumgren is down low for a ball. The junior shortstop 0 for 3 yesterday against Sun Prairie. 1-0 pitch, squares to bunt, high fastball taken for ball 2. Hits few and far between against the Cardinals yesterday in a 9-3 loss.
Yeah, Mr. Jensen just both times, kind of like Schmidt with Middleton, just really,
there's a strike.
Shut him down. I mean, it was just a matter of, but again, the fortunate thing is you're probably not going to see a pitcher of that quality in the sectional,
right.
And if you did see him again, it wouldn't be until the state tournament.
High bouncer to third, and Jake Osiki has that and throws to Caution over at first to retire Blumgren on a 2-1 pitch. So there's 1 up and 1 down for Jacob Campbell, the catcher.
Jacob Campbell.
Campbell 1 for 2 yesterday against the Cardinals, carrying a .386 average. Here's the pitch. Blocked by Connor Grossnickel, the catcher.
2 weeks from today, Jacob will know his future as far as whether he heads off to Illinois to play for the Illini or if he decides to turn pro right away.
There's a hit to right field. It's going to be down the line and extra bases for Campbell. It's going to get into the corner near the foul pole. Up with it, Pedersen's having a problem, and now finally the relay. Campbell's on his way to third, and he's going to be in with a stand-up triple. Double and an error.
Well,
he had some problems getting that ball.
Yeah, he had trouble picking it up, so we'll give him a double and an E9.
All right.
He makes that play. I don't think he goes to third.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Trouble picking it up.
So a double and an error on the right fielder, Pedersen. And Campbell all the way to third. And the Cougars with a runner in scoring position for Luke Malmanger, the first baseman. Malmanger 1 for 2 yesterday. And Kelleher starts him off with an inside corner strike. 0-1.
This is a spot that Luke's got accustomed to, and usually in this spot he delivers.
.435 on the year. There's a hit to right, but right at Pedersen, but it's going to give the Cougars the lead. Here comes the throw as Campbell comes in standing as the throw is cut off, and it's 1-0 Janesville Craig on an RBI fly ball to right field from Luke Malmanger.
Yep, great job of hitting there by Luke. Went with the pitch, got it to right field, and the error came back to bite the Wildcats as Campbell, if he's on second, he doesn't score in that play.
So 2 outs, and now Noah Berghammer with the bases clear to start something else. Had an RBI yesterday. Kelleher's first pitch. Swung on and roped right between shortstop and third. That was a shot right through there on a single for Berghammer. So 1 on with 2 out, and Clark Schmaling will now be the batter.
And that's one of the bats that Cougars have to get going if they're going to have some success in the postseason, because Berghammer, he picked up the average a little bit, but
he's batting .333 coming in. Just raised that with his 22nd hit.
Yep, and I think a lot of his hits have come in the last 2 weeks or so. Good to see.
So 2 down, runner out first, squaring to bunt. Berghammer goes, throw down by Grossnickel, not in time, and a stolen base for Berghammer, and a runner in scoring position. Schmaling going to try and get him in. Schmaling drove in 2 out of the 3 runs yesterday and was 1 for 2. And he's currently batting .314 for the Cougars.
Well, if Kelleher, if that's the kind of move he's going to have, because that was a quick glance and threw home, it's going to be a day at the races for the Cougars today.
Pitch upstairs, 2-0 on Schmaling. Ross March, the on-deck circle with 2 down. 1-0 Craig. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled over the Wildcat dugout. 2-1. Regional finals next Thursday here at Riverside.
Hope the weather's just like this.
No kidding. Long range doesn't look too bad.
It doesn't.
We get through this week, we're looking at high 70s. That one's in the dirt, blocked by Grossnickel. 3-1 on Schmaling. And hopefully if we head up to Appleton for either Craig or Parker, we won't have a tornado warning like we did last year.
Man.
That was fun. 3-1 pitch. Hit to right, and again right at Pedersen. He goes to his right, but he's got it for the third out. So for Janesville Craig, 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. Through 1, it's 1-0 Cougars. We'll return after this from the Ozinga brothers. And 5-hitter Sam Pedersen, the right fielder, who had a couple of putouts, but also guilty of an error on that Jake Campbell double right down the right field line.
Yeah, I saw the coach go up to him right in between innings there and maybe a little pep talk and
Yep.
just say, hey, forget about it. It happened. A lot of baseball left, and not sure if it was his approach to the ball or just couldn't get a hit grip on it.
So Pedersen steps in. He was 0 for 3 in Tuesday's game against the Cougars. Faust first delivery, a little bit outside, 1-0. Cougars with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. And the pitch, inside corner, strike one. 1-1 on Pedersen.
You know, and with a crazy spring that we had, Craig, with a game today, we'll have 24 games in. Which
There's a line drive to left field, and Pedersen leads off with a solid base hit.
hard to believe they got a full schedule in almost, other than I think one postponement or one cancellation, against Kimberly.
Yeah.
So, the way the spring started, you and I would have both thought that there's no way that
no chance. Drop every non-conference game.
I thought, well, Craig will go to state with a 15-2 record, and they'll play Superior, who will be 3-0 on the season.
3-0, yes. Here's Jake Osiki, the third baseman. Runner at first. He pops one to shallow center. Going back on it is Blumgren, and Christensen can't get it. Nobody's covering second as it drops in, as Berghammer tried to go get it as well, and that's going to fall for a bloop hit for Osiki. And now runners at first and second with nobody out.
And I'm not sure Noah could have made that play from where he was, and certainly Blomgren and Christensen in no man's land, but I think more than anything, Faust has got to run back and cover second in case the ball's picked up quickly, because the runner, he was about halfway in between. He wasn't sure if
he would have been thrown out.
Yeah,
for sure. So here's Jake Caution, the first baseman. Nobody out. Faust delivers and fouled right back to the screen, and you can tell these pitchers these batters kind of have the scouting report. There are going to be a lot of strikes thrown here, so if there's going to be good pitches to hit, go ahead and get to hacking.
Yep. And it's pitch to contact. There's nothing wrong with that. Craig's been good defensively. A little misstep yesterday against Sun Prairie, but other than that, they've been a solid team all year.
0-1, and here it is. Swing and a miss, foul tip into Campbell's glove.
Jake's looking to throw behind the runner at second, but Pedersen's not off far enough to warrant a throw. But
0-2 to Caution.
At some point today, he'll throw behind a runner. You know that.
Well, for sure. He hasn't gotten much action warming that arm up. Here's the pitch. High and outside. There it is, and it's going to hit Pedersen and careen off towards where Berghammer normally plays. Back in there with a head-first slide. I think it would have beat him, but it was definitely on the left side of the bag.
He almost took his pitcher's head off, too, because Faust
didn't know that it was
fall off to the right a little bit on the mound. Probably not the way he normally finishes, but he fell to the right a little bit, and Jake's release, Faust kind of had to get out of the way there, or that would have hit him right in the noggin.
1-2 the count to Caution, the first baseman. Runners at first and second. Verona threatening, nobody out. Here's a curveball, swing and a miss. And Caution goes down. Nice hook from Faust. And there's one out on the strikeout.
Yep. 0-2, decided to go after him with a little something high and outside. And he got Mr. Caution to go fishing a little bit for it, and he did.
So now the batter will be Tyler McWilliams, the left fielder. And first pitch swung on and fouled over the Verona dugout. 0-1. You got a text message?
Somebody, Art Kabalowski at the State Journal, retweeting my tweet.
Excellent. Art's a busy man up there with
He
all
is,
the prep
especially
stuff.
today with everything going on. Track.
Sectionals.
It's not so much, it's fun to cover and fun to write about, but it's not fun to type it all in. I can tell you that much right now, and that's what I'll be doing when I get back. So maybe this game could go about 19 innings, and I could miss the track agate for tonight.
0-2 quickly to McWilliams. Runners at first and second, one down. Craig with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the two. And Campbell comes out of his crouch to catch that one, a high fastball. 1-2 now on McWilliams.
And I just see Melminger continue to sneak in a little bit at first, just itching to throw behind Osiki and try to pick him off. But again, if that throw gets away, then Pedersen probably going to score from second.
Yeah, if that goes down the line. There's a pitch, and inside corner, strike three called. McWilliams down on strikes. 2 straight punch-outs for Faust, and now here's Grant Kelleher, the pitcher.
Yeah, McWilliams knew that right away. He took off and
just,
headed back for the dugout and just thought, you know what, next time I should probably bring a bat with me because it didn't do me much good that time.
So Kelleher steps in, already choking up a little bit.
Yep.
Here's the pitch from Faust, swings and misses on an outside fastball.
Verona not a very big team as far as
stature,
size-wise.
right?
Stature, yeah. The last couple guys look tiny.
Barely able to fill their uniforms.
Yeah.
0-1 to Kelleher, Faust's counterpart.
Have to swing that bat they use in co-red softball.
Here's the pitch. Popped up. It's going to be playable for Mulmanger, drifting back into foul territory. And so Verona, with 2 hits, can't move anybody across to start the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. Craig still with a 1-0 lead. Half of the second, Craig will send up Ross March, Mike Overly, and Jacob Hessling.
Sam Loizo, our
resident retired photographer,
getting heckled by the crowd for not being down here earlier for senior night. I think Sam wanted to turn around and flip off the man that was heckling him, but thought better of it.
Retired guys have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And that one inside and hits Ross March on the hands. Oh, did it hit the bat?
It hit the bat.
All right, foul ball.
And March isn't protesting it, so my guess is it might hit the end of the bat. And if the hand was there, it's going to sting a little bit.
So a foul on an inside fastball to start off Ross March. Second one is in the dirt, but Grossnickel has it. March, 296 hitter. He's got 16 hits, and there's a high bouncer to short. Connor McGowan gloves it, throws over to Caution at first to secure the out. 1 up and 1 down for the Cougars, and here's Micah Overly.
Third baseman, Micah Overly.
The only lefty in the lineup for the Cougars today, Micah Overly.
Yep. So Overly steps in, playing third base. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. Overly with a .263 average. 10 hits and 38 at bats. He's got 2 doubles and a triple. Second pitch in there for strike 2 looking from Overly.
And that was the one thing Vic talked about last week was at times this team, a lot of batters have a tendency to be too selective at the plate. And you and I have watched this kid 2 innings now. Just get up there and hit.
Yep. Here's the pitch inside. Scoots away from Grossnickel. 1-2 the count to Overly. He was 2 for 3 yesterday against Sun Prairie.
A guy like Kelleher that, he's not throwing overly hard,
Nope.
but a lot of times his first pitch might be the best pitch you'll see in the sequence. That's one you got to go after.
The 1-2 hit right back to him on a couple of bounces and a quick throw over to Caution. And there's 2 up and 2 down as Overly is gone. And here's Jacob Hessling, the DH.
And good example. He gets behind 0-2. He's got to protect and force to swing an off-speed pitch and barely hit it. And Kelleher wins that battle.
Squares to bunt, pushes one down third. Charging is Osiki. He'll throw over to first, and he gets him by a step.
Nice play.
So Hessling out, and 3 up and 3 down for the Cougars. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. 2 complete. To the third we go. It's 1-0 Craig. Top of the third coming up, back to the top of the lineup for the Verona Wildcats. So second time through, Jacob Faust with 2 strikeouts, and it'll be Tucker Teskey to lead things off, who flew out to center. I believe was on the first pitch.
I think you're right.
So Teskey, the lefty, steps in. Craig with a 1-0 lead. Here's the windup in the pitch from Faust. In there, strike 1.
Not expecting Teskey to pull the ball at all. There's a big gap between right and center.
Very much so. Here's the 0-1. Swings and flies one to left. March is under it, and he's got it for out number 1. Scouting report accurate on that,
Yep,
I would say.
the proverbial can of corn.
So 1 up and 1 down for Jonah Hafner, the second baseman.
Second baseman, Jonah Hafner.
Hafner induced a walk
Faust never walks anybody. Oh, that's right. He walked.
Yeah, you want to say that
He
again?
walked him the first time. Not this time.
Okay.
Jacob's going to go after him here.
Here's the opening pitch. In there, strike one, inside corner. 0-1 on Hefner.
And again, I like Faust's, his approach. Just get the ball, throw it.
Pitch to contact.
Yep.
0-1. Curveball, boy, drops in there. Beauty.
Yep.
0-2 the count on Hefner. He's got a pretty good hook on that.
He did. Yep.
It's not quick breaking, but it's got a lot of movement.
See if you can get him to chase here, 0-2.
And here's the pitch. Campbell sets up outside. High for a ball. Senior day here at Riverside. We had Parkers on Tuesday, today for the Cougars. A lot of seniors in the lineup. And he goes after another strike on a breaking ball. It comes up empty, so a strikeout for Hefner. Third punch-out for Faust, and now here's Connor McGowan, the shortstop.
The deuce is working well for Faust right now.
It is.
That dropped off the table. Yeah, and hats off to that senior class from Craig. Really, when you look back, disappointed they didn't win the conference title this year, but certainly when you look at Noah Berghammer, J.J. Brennan, Jacob Campbell, Jacob Faust, Luke Malmiger, and Ross March, what they've done in their careers, including a state title, that's pretty impressive. And again, I know they're disappointed in not going out with that conference title their last year, but
I think if they come home with a ring, they're going to be satisfied.
Yeah, I don't think they'll worry about not winning the Big Eight their last year.
Foul ball from McGowan lands on top of the Cougar dugout, and it's 1-1 to the Verona shortstop, who popped out to Campbell in the first.
And I can't speak for Faust and March. I'm not sure what their collegiate plans are, if any, but certainly with those other kids. Berghammer headed to Minnesota to play baseball. J.J. Brennan headed to Judson College to play baseball. Campbell could be drafted. If not, he'll go to Illinois. And Luke Malminger headed to Whitewater to play football.
Shallow fly to center, and Christensen is under it for the third out. 3 up, 3 down for the Wildcats. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the third. Craig 1, Verona 0. Josh and John back at Veterans Field. Throw down to second from Gross Nickel on the money, and Tegan Christensen will step in. Christensen getting the start for Brennan in center field.
Coming off that ankle injury, and hopefully he's back to 100% because he's one of the many speedsters on this Craig team that if he gets on base, you'll see him in motion.
Here's the opening pitch from Kelleher up high on Christensen. Tegan batting .500.
Is that all?
He's 2 for 4.
Well, hey. Somebody asks you what you hit your senior year, you can say .500.
That's it. There's one on the outside corner for strike one. It's even at a ball and a strike on Tegan.
How many bats you have? What's it matter? I hit .500.
He's driven in a run. Here's the curveball from Kelleher. Drops in inside corner for strike 2. 1-2. And here it is coming back again. There's a high bouncer to short. This is going to be a quick play for McGowan. Christensen runs well, and Caution can't dig it out. Low throw on the shortstop.
And the speed that we were just talking about right there beats that out. Not many guys on the team are going to beat that out. The shortstop has to hurry his throw, so you got to give him a base hit there.
Base hit for Christensen. Third hit for Craig. And the leadoff man is aboard, and back to the top of the order for Dan Blumgren, who grounded to third to open the game. Back is Christensen on a throw from Kelleher over to first. Now you'll see whether we can get some guys in motion here.
Good chance to see Christensen's speed on the football field, running back punts and kickoffs.
And a big lead, and now he's backsliding again. Tegan without a stolen base, but we'll see if he's pressed into action here. It's always fun seeing him flying up from the secondary.
Yep. And another guy, again, we talked about Faust earlier, another guy where if you get to the state tournament and you're playing those 3 games in the 2 days, you may see Christensen on the mound at some point,
right.
Depending on if the games are close or when you have to go to your bullpen. But a guy who's very capable of coming in and give you a couple of good innings.
So 0-1 on a foul from Blumgren. There goes Christensen. Pulls back on the bunt. It's a strike. Tegan in there with a head-first slide and a stolen base. So he advances to second, swipes a bag, and it's 0-2 on Blumgren on a called strike. So runner at second in scoring position. Christensen's first stolen base. Kelleher comes to the plate. There's a bouncer to first. Runner will move, and the flip to Kelleher covering from caution, and the out is secured. To third goes Christensen.
Probably not what Danny will tell you he wanted to do, but just as good as a bunt there. Get the runner over to third with less than 2 outs, and your best hitter coming up.
So a one-down runner at third situation for Campbell, who doubled and advanced to third on an error and then scored the game's only run thus far.
Well, we were talking about earlier with Craig and what the seniors have meant to this program. 97-11 the last 4 years.
Yikes.
I mean, that's, again, they didn't all play varsity their freshman and sophomore years, but still.
You're in the program.
As a class.
You know what it means to win.
You're 97-11. I mean, that's that's pretty good.
Campbell outside, ball 2. 2-0.
29-1 in 2015 when they won the state tournament, and 26-3 also in there. So, I mean, just incredible.
There's a hit to the gap in right. Late break from the center fielder. He dives. He can't get it. And a run will score. Campbell on his horse. He's going to dive in head first to second. Good layout by Teskey, but just out of reach on a hit to the gap in right center. So Campbell.
Second double of the day and another RBI, and he just continues to hit the ball where it's pitched. He's not trying to pull anything, and I think I don't see any scouts here today. They probably got their bookwork done on him. But
if they're going to draft here in a couple of weeks,
they know what they want. Yep. But it's just so good to see a kid that's not trying to pull everything, and then he's just going with a pitch. And
that's 2 to the right side.
Yeah, and teams just aren't going to be.
There goes Campbell to third on a throw in the dirt, and it's off the end of the glove of Osiki and bounces to short. So Malmanger took a ball. And Campbell's over to third base.
Yep, and again, and getting back to Jacob, just a kid that does things the right way, and scouts see that, and I think that'll certainly help his draft status. And, he's had a chance to work out for a number of organizations already, and I think what he'll do eventually is, we're probably looking at between a third and a sixth round, which is pretty impressive from a small town like Janesville in the upper Midwest.
You just get drafted and it says something.
Exactly.
Malmanger has one graze his left arm, so it's a hit by pitch, and Luke aboard at first, Campbell at third, and now here's Noah Berghammer with a single and a stolen base.
I'm not sure Luke did a whole lot there to get out of the way. Probably felt like a
There goes Malmanger. Here's the throw down from Grossnickel, and he's out. Malmanger didn't slide. And came in there, pulled up a little bit, and the tag applied from the second baseman, Hafner, and Malmanger is caught stealing.
And Vic didn't even want to look at him. If he slides, that's not even close.
No.
Not even close if he slid.
Throw was on the left side of the base, but there's 2 out. And a ball in the dirt now to Noah Berghammer.
And again, lesson learned, and get that out of your system in the regular season, because you don't want that to come back and bite you in the postseason.
1-1 the count to Noah. Campbell still at third. It's 2-0 Craig. High fastball for 2-1. You think there's any chance that Malmanger could be a two-sport guy over at Whitewater? Is she at least interested
difficult.
in seeing him?
I mean, I could see it. It's certainly been done before.
There's a foul back to the screen. You just figure you're batting 430, 450, whatever, in one of the toughest conferences.
Well, the problem with football, especially playing tight end, is they're going to beef you up.
Oh, well, for sure.
And baseball sometimes you can get too big where you have trouble getting through on balls. And
there's a rope to short, but right at Connor McGowan. Berghammer hit it on the screws, but right at him. But the Cougars score another run. 1 run on 2 hits and no errors, and 1 man left on base as Campbell is stranded at third. 3 complete. We go to the 4th. It's 2-0 Craig. So first batter this inning for Verona will be Tristan Largent, the DH. Here's the opening pitch by Faust. Outside corner, strike 1.
Good pitch. About what we expected, Josh. I thought it'd be kind of low scoring, and pitchers working quickly, batters up there getting their hacks in, and don't think we've deviated off course too much today.
Well, Craig had the lead against Verona on Tuesday up there, and the Wildcats scored a couple to get back on top, and Craig had to rally. So hopefully Craig can maintain things here. Largent, a grounder to second. Back in the first. Here's the pitch, and there's a liner right over the head of Blumgren into left center. And Christensen throws that back in. So a base hit to lead things off.
Just like last inning, and then that was fouled up with Osiki with a base hit, but then those two didn't move, thanks to 2 foul strikeouts
Yep.
and a pop-up to Campbell. So, again, you're down 2-0, fourth inning. It's a matter of, as a team or as a coach, do you want to work on things? Do you want to work on situational things, bunting here, down 2 on the road, or do you just let your number 4 or 5 hitter hit?
Throw to Malmanger, back to first. Largen in standing. Sam Pettersson, the right fielder, with a base hit. 3 hits in the game for the Wildcats. Largen away from first. Pettersson at the plate. Here's the pitch from Faust. Hit to short. Might be 2. Blomgren to Berghammer. Relay. Double play. 6-4-3, and there's 2 down for Janesville Craig.
Well done on all around. Nice scoop from Blomgren. Berghammer got rid of it quickly while avoiding the slide, and Malminger with a great stretch at first, and that's just how you draw it up. And people say, well, why do they take so much infield? Well, that's why. So you can work on things like that, and, just getting that down. It's almost like a handoff with a baton in track and field. It's just something that you work on constantly so that when it happens, you're ready for it.
Here's a pop-up on the first pitch from Osiki to third. Calling for it is Overly, and there's the third out, just like that. So for Verona, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. Bottom of the 4th coming up, 2-0 Craig. So Clark Schmaling due up. A fly to right field in the first. Here's the pitch. Curveball. Landed a tad upstairs from Kelleher for ball 1. Schmaling steps back in. And he squares to bunt. Takes a high and inside pitch for ball 2. As Osiki charged in from third, now playing up on the grass.
Schmaling on his own. Vic didn't give him any sign there. I think 2-0 he's probably taking here and trying to start the inning off with a
Took it all the way.
Took it all the way for a strike right down the middle.
2-1 on Schmaling. And Coach Herp says again, you do you.
Yep. I'll give you signs you get on first.
2-1 pitch from Kelleher. Here it is in the dirt and backhanded by Grossnickel.
Having trouble with the Craig Senior portraits once again, as half of them are laying on the ground, and now they're trying to get them back up. And
they don't work well in the wind.
No.
3-1. Swung on and hit right down the line. Could be extra bases for Schmaling. Rounds first. And McWilliams comes up with it. Here's the throw into second, and it's cut off. There might have been a play if it would have been on target, but a standing double for Clark Schmaling to lead things off.
Couldn't have placed that any better, right?
Nope.
Perfect spot.
And he drew the third baseman in on the grass and just put it right by him. So here's Ross March. Janesville Parker up 5-0 on West.
Top of the 3rd.
Parker with those early runs this week. Here's a bunt laid down. Beautiful. Towards the line. Long throw for Kelleher. Pulls his man off the bag. And in there is March.
Base hit.
So March with an infield single on a bunt to third is Schmaling. Runners at the corners. Nobody out for Micah Overly.
That'd be what? Win number 9 in a row for Parker?
Yep.
And you and I both saw them earlier in the year and thought, man, this team is going nowhere just because they, were not playing well defensively. They weren't hitting. They weren't getting anything from the top of their lineup, and it's just like a switch went off.
But they also played their
good
tough
teams.
part of the schedule.
And now here they are,
Here's
right where you want to be heading into the tournament.
Pop-up, shallow left. Going over from short is McGowan. He's got it as Overly pops up for the first out. And that'll bring up Jacob Hessling. First and third, 1 down.
Designated hitter, Jacob Hessling.
Verona calling some defensive signals here.
Yeah, I would think March would be in motion at some point here.
There he goes. First pitch, bunt down the first baseline. Run's going to score and goes by the pitcher who drops the ball.
Another infield single. Yeah.
Run scores from
RBI
third.
For Hessling.
And everybody moves up. So Overly, or I should say, March to second, even though he was on his way with a stolen base. And Hessling puts it right down the line and then blows by both Verona players.
Well, the problem there was, you can't give him a sacrifice because he beat the throw, and Kelleher just didn't get off the mound quick enough. The first baseman was left too far away from the bag to get back there, and good speed from Hessling, and the Cougars still in business here.
3-0 for Tegan Christensen. First and second now, 1 down for Tegan, who had a single and a stolen base and then scored.
I don't think an 8 spot would bother anybody here.
No, absolutely not, least of all you.
Nope.
So Teagan takes a ball outside. Cougars showing they're no worse for the wear from yesterday's loss.
No, it put it behind him, and again,
Staying
those
aggressive.
were 2 perfect bunts. One right down the third baseline and one right down the first baseline.
Here's the pitch. Christensen with a line drive through the gap into right field between first and second. Throw comes home. Run is in. It's cut off by Caution on the mound. And now the bases are loaded as a run scores.
And the Cougars really getting good looks.
A run did not score, I'm sorry.
Good looks at Kelleher the second time through the order. That's 4 of the last 5 hitters with base hits.
Yep. So Christensen with a base hit. At third is March. Hessling at second. Christensen at first. And the pitching coach is now out for Verona.
And here's the one thing I've kind of always, I think we talked about this before. Now you've got all 3 Craig base runners.
Mm-hmm.
Vic Herbst, Ben Yacher.
Oh, yeah, the offensive hub.
Yep, the on-deck batter, the batter. And I'm not sure with the bases loaded what you're going to tell anybody other than
make sure it goes through.
Line drive's got to go through, tagging a fly ball, and go on the ground. I mean, it's just a new part of the high school game.
Yeah.
Again, you don't see it at the major league level, but something the high schools do now.
We've learned seeing both these Parker and Craig teams is that you can never strategize too much. You want to be prepared for everything,
right. Yep.
And you just want to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yep.
So back on the mound is Kelleher, bases loaded to the top of the order, and Dan Blumgren, who's 0 for 2 today. Opening pitch. Swings and lines one to second, and a double play at second as Hessling got caught off.
I don't think that's what they talked about.
No, probably not. So 1 run for Janesville Craig on 4 hits. No errors and 2 men left on base. Through 4 to the 5th we go. It's 3-0 Craig. Score is 3-0 here at Riverside on a double play line drive from Dan Blumgren as Hessling gets thrown out at second, going a little bit too far. And as we said, make sure a liner goes through. And he just went a little bit too far off second base.
And he did, and they weren't holding him on, so he can get a little bigger lead than he normally would. And, obviously if there's nobody on third, they're going to hold him tighter at second. But with a runner at third and a runner at first, he's able to get off a little bit more and really kind of got caught flat-footed as the ball. Blomgren hit it hard, but right at the second baseman, and an easy double play.
So for the Wildcats, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Jake Caution, the first baseman, will lead it off.
Leading off for Verona on the top of the 5th inning, first baseman, Jake Caution.
And he fouls one over the Verona dugout for strike 1. Faust still on the mound.
I would think his pitch count
That's what I was
right now
just going to ask.
Probably pretty good. I'd say it's probably around 50 or so.
0-1 the count. And here's the pitch from Faust. Liner to center. And a base hit. Another leadoff hit for Verona.
Third leadoff hit in the last 4 innings, but they're not able to capitalize. The Cougars turned a double play last inning to get out of any trouble. And in the second, when they had back-to-back hits to start the inning, Faust got out of it with a couple strikeouts and a pop-up. So hopefully he can avoid any damage here.
The 4th hit for Verona, and now the batter will be Tyler McWilliams, the left fielder. Pitch from Faust, swung on, and there's a little liner into the gap in right center. Christensen hustles over to get that, cuts it off, and throws it into Berghammer, but 2 base hits from Caution and McWilliams to start off the 5th.
And I think the Verona hitters are kind of in the same boat as the Craig hitters. Just seem to be a better look at Faust the second time around. And again, we talked about that herky-jerky motion. You don't pick up the ball right away, and Verona with their 7 and 8 hitters with back-to-back hits, and I think more than anything, they're swinging at that first pitch. And we talked about that's sometimes in a sequence where you get 4 or 5 pitches, that first one is the best one. And both of them took it the other way and got base hits.
So here's Kelleher. Doesn't look like he's really ready to hit, and I'm thinking bunt here.
I got to believe with that.
Here's the throw to second, and the runner is back.
3/4 up the handle on it, so he looks like Joey Votto batting right now.
3-0 Craig, top of the 5th here at Riverside.
You're down 3 with the tying run at the plate, but this is also your number 9 hitter and your pitcher, so he may very well be sacrificing here.
Here he goes, lays down the bunt. Boy, it's a good one, third base side. Strong throw's going to have to get him, and he's safe over at first.
Base hit.
Infield single for Kelleher as the runners advance, and now the bases are loaded. Back to the top of the order, and nobody out.
Again, that's the third straight perfect bunt that we've seen. I mean, Kelleher couldn't have walked down the third base line and set it down there any better than that. And we'll have a courtesy runner for Kelleher now.
All right. Courtesy running.
Michael Fisher will be running for Kelleher.
Courtesy running at first base for the pitcher, number 15, Michael Fisher.
So Fisher at first, and the lefty Tucker Teskey, who is 0 for 2
Tucker Teskey.
with 2 flyouts.
He's seen 2 pitches, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, 2 pitches and fly out to center and a fly out to left. So we'll see if with the bases loaded here and nobody out, I got to believe he might be a little more patient here.
So Faust out of the stretch. Here he comes. Swings at the first pitch.
And what do I know?
Over the Craig dugout for strike 1. Top of the order, and Tucker Teskey. 3 straight hits to open the inning for Verona. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Here's the 0-1 from Faust. Outside a ball, 1-1.
Craig with the infield back. I mean, up. Overly's up a little bit at third, but that's just in case of a bunt. But
I'll
Blomgren and Berghammer are certainly saying, look.
I'll trade 2 outs for 1 run.
We'll trade an out or 2 outs for a run anytime.
1-1 pitch coming up from Faust. Here it is. Outside corner, strike 2. Talk to me, Riverside.
Yeah, that looked like a good pitch, though. And I think Chuck's been pretty consistent.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
1-2 the count on Tucker Teskey.
Big pitch for Faust and big at bat here for Teskey.
Here it is. Outside corner, strike 3. Teskey not too happy about that, but got to take the bat off your shoulder at some point.
Yeah, you
do. He was all about swinging in his 2 previous at-bats.
Especially when you're the leadoff hitter and you're up with the bases loaded, nobody out. I mean, you got to make something happen there. You got to put the ball in play.
So here's Jonah Hafner, a strikeout victim in the 3rd and a walk in the 1st. 1 down. Bases still loaded for Verona.
Now they pinch Melminger up a little bit in front of the bag at first, and Overly takes a step back at 3rd, so kind of a little the opposite there.
Here it is. Strike 1. Chuck almost turned his ankle stepping back for that strike. What was that?
Fell into quicksand there, I think.
A little bit. Got to make my strike call. What's this? 0-1 on Hafner. 1 out. Faust coming back. Swings and fouls it over the Verona dugout, and Faust in front of him, 0-2.
0-2, and, you know, I don't think with Pat Campbell calling pitches, I don't think they're going to mess around. You may see the hammer here to try to get him to chase, and Faust to be 1 out away from getting out of really serious problems with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Here's the pitch high and outside as Hafner does not take.
He would have needed a 10-foot pole to hit that one. That was way outside.
1-2 the count to Hafner. Faust coming back. Here it is. Curveball hit to 3rd, wide of 3rd, backhanded by Blomgren. Can't do anything with the ball, and a run scores on an infield hit and an RBI from Jonah Hafner. 4th hit in the inning, and Verona on the board. It's 3-1 Cougars.
And just out of the reach of Overly,
Yep.
I'm afraid even if he does come up with a ball, his only play probably would have been the first because the runner got a good jump from 3rd as Caution scored easily. And Verona with a run, down 2, and still with the bases loaded, your number 3 and 4 hitters coming up. So I think if you're Verona right now, you feel like you're in a pretty good spot to tie this baby up.
Here's Connor McGowan. First pitch, high fastball. 1-0.
Just like we saw the Cougars do the previous inning, the Wildcats with 4 hits in this half of the inning.
Faust comes set. Bases still loaded. Here it is. Ball down low. 2-0 on McGowan. Had a pop-up to Campbell and flied out to Christensen in center. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and hit to center. It's going to get over Christensen's head into the left field gap in left center. 1 run is in. 2 are in. Throw coming home is going to be airmailed, but backing it up wisely is Faust, and this game is tied at 3 apiece on a 2 RBI double from Connor McGowan.
Good at bat there from McGowan, and Christensen playing in a little bit, and it looked like he took a pretty good angle, but I think that ball carried a little bit more than he thought, and Verona back in the game, and we're all tied up.
3 apiece. And runners at second and third with 1 out for Tristan Largent, the designated hitter, who is 1 for 2 today. Also a lefty. Had a single last inning and grounded to second. Infield is in. And there's a ball upstairs from Faust.
Don't see anybody in the Cougar bullpen, so this
The Cougar den.
unless again the next one up could be Berghammer, it could be Overly.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit to shallow center. Christensen running in with a basket catch, bobbles but makes the grab, and the runners have to hold, not deep enough, and there's 2 outs.
Yeah, good play from Christensen. Not deep enough to score, but almost it snow-coated him a little bit, but he was able to, it popped out of his glove. He was able to hold on to it. And chance here for Faust to get out of it with no further damage, and Cougars can go to bat with a game tied at 3.
So 2 down, and Sam Pedersen, the right fielder, a single and grounded into a double play last inning. Faust steps off just briefly. And now he's back on. Still out of the stretch. Looks in for Campbell's sign. Gets it, comes set. And here it is. Swung on and popped up. Left field. March tracking towards the line, and he's got it for out number 3. So for Verona, they score 3 runs and tie the game on 5 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th, all square, 3 apiece at Riverside. 3-3, Verona strikes for 3 runs in the top of the 5th. Bottom half coming up for Craig. Kelleher still on the mound for Verona. And it'll be Campbell, Malmanger, and Berghammer to bat here in the 5th.
You know, we talked about it his last at bat. You know, his first 2 times up, doubles to the gap in right center, and yet the defensive alignment really hasn't changed for Verona. The center fielder's shaded over towards left, and, you know, it just obviously the goal is to pitch him outside. But
here's the pitch, curveball, outside corner for strike 1. Good pitch from Kelleher.
Yeah, one of probably his best curveball of the day right there. Jake was kind of froze on that one.
0-1. Smacked right back up the middle for a base hit. Boy, Campbell teeing off on that one.
Yeah, he's locked in right now.
3 for 3 on the day with 2 doubles and a run scored.
First baseman, Luke Malmanger.
So here's Malmanger. He was hit by a pitch last inning. He's driven in a run. And a time call for caution at first to tie his shoe.
You know, you talked earlier about Malmanger possibly playing 2 sports at Whitewater, and I think back to a kid from Madison East that played basketball, and I'm trying to think of his name. I want to say it was Davis, but Chris Davis, yeah, that's it. And remember, he played basketball,
yes,
and they put him at tight end.
Did they? I didn't know he played football.
Yeah, I think he was on the national championship team.
Malmanger squares to bunt. Campbell runs down to second and swipes his second stolen base for today. So immediately a runner in scoring position. And for Campbell, counting the 2, he has got 24.
Wow.
And leads the team, and it's not close.
Not bad from your catcher.
No.
Considered most teams' courtesy run for their
1-0 pitch, ground ball, eats up the shortstop, Hafner, and it finds the gap. Campbell's going to round third and score. Malmanger's going to go into second, and the Cougars retake the lead with the first 2 hitters in the bottom of the 5th.
Got to be a double. It took just an awful hop on the second baseman. And
kind of a little Olay.
Yeah, not much he could do about it. So an RBI for Malmanger. It's probably his 300th of the season.
So Malmanger with a base hit. Going to give him a double?
Yep, got to have to. He runs well for a big man. I mean, like I say, you and I got a chance to watch him in football. Just great hands. You know, anything in the vicinity,
catches everything.
He catches it. But you can see right there on that double that he runs well. I mean, he might be a kid that if he's lined up with a linebacker, he may be able to get some separation.
Malmanger's driven in 2 today, so he's got 24 on the season.
Yeah, so he's matched Campbell's stolen base total.
4-3 Craig. And the batter is Noah Berghammer, and he's ahead 2-0 on Kelleher on a couple outside fastballs. So Berghammer today lined out to second, singled, and has stolen a base. Fouls one back to the screen, just missed it. And it's 2-1. Runner at second is Malmanger. 1 run is in for the Cougars. 2-1 the count. 3 hits for Campbell on the day. Here's the pitch to Berghammer. He smacks one left field, twisting, and will
into the Cougar den.
Into the Cougar bullpen down in left field. And even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 4-3 Craig. Cougars lead the hit column with 10.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-2. Down low. Noah didn't like it.
Tom Murphy right on top of things, pointing out that 18 hits in the game. So that's we haven't seen that in a while.
No, my math adds up too. Good job, Murph. Full count. Here it is. Check swing, and the home plate umpire rings up Berghammer, and he's down on strikes, and there's 1 out for Clark Schmaling.
Right fielder, Clark Schmaling.
Yeah, I think Noah kind of committed a little early there and wasn't sure and tried to hold up, but the home plate ump said, nope, that's too far, and Kelleher's first strikeout of the day.
So here's Schmaling, who is also 1 for 2 today. He's got a double and a run scored. And the pitch outside, just too far for Kelleher, 1-0. And Janesville Craig next week. It's the winner of Milton and Fort Atkinson on Thursday. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, 2-0. The Red Hawks and the Black Hawks will play on Tuesday. So Craig will know their opponent.
Craig played Melton earlier in the year and beat them, but
first game of the year.
You know, everybody's 0-0 once the tournament rolls around. So.
2-0 pitch. There's outside corner for strike 1 on Schmaling.
Rankings don't matter. Nope. Where you finish in the conference doesn't matter. It's a brand new game, and
then Stoughton and Elkhorn with the winner to advance to face Parker. I believe that's the matchup.
Yep.
Okay. Here it is. Smack to center. Teskey's under it. He's got it. And Malmanger will hold. It doesn't matter because he left early anyway. And there's 2 down for Ross March. And
Ross March.
Malmanger still at second. March today with a base hit, and he's also grounded to shortstop. Kelleher throws, and a fly ball to center. Teskey on it. And out number 3 is secured, but for the Cougars, 2 hits in the inning. They score 1 run on those 2 hits. No errors and 1 man left. Craig regains the lead. We're through 5. Top of the 6th coming up. It's 4-3 Cougars. We don't have a 14, do we? All right. So trying to track down some numbers here. Defensive changes for Janesville Craig.
Hughes now playing center field for the Cougars.
Okay.
Not on the varsity roster that we have, but probably brought him up from the JV team, and he'll take over in center as Tegan Christensen comes on for Jacob Faust. We can close the books on Jacob. He's in line for the win right now.
He is.
5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. So not a bad outing. You know, I mean, keep your team in the game, and you got a chance right now to win the game. So another quality start from Jacob Faust.
So Tegan on the hill for Janesville Craig.
Leading off for Verona in the top of the 6th inning, third baseman, Jake Osiki.
So Jake Osiki will bat. It's the 6, 7, 8 spots for Verona.
And really not much difference between Tegan and Jacob Faust. They'll both pound the strike zone and
low and outside to start with.
Try to pitch to contact and let the defense make plays behind them. Tegan
has a 1-0 record. He's pitched in 6 games, foul back by Osiki. It's 1-1. Tegan 14 1/3 innings. He's only given up 10 hits, 3 earned runs. Strikeout to walk ratio is pretty good, 13-2.
Yeah.
An ERA of 1.47 and a whip of .84. Teams are hitting 189 against him.
Right, and what did we say? Faust had 4 walks on the season, Christensen with 2. So, again, not going to overpower you, but they're going to throw strikes.
Into the windup, and the 1-1 popped up. Is it going to stay in play? Malmanger running in, Campbell running in, and Malmanger's got it in foul territory in front of the Verona dugout for 1 up and 1 down.
Yep, and at this time of day, we talked about that before as well. That sun is just wicked on the right fielder and the first baseman. So Malmanger with glasses on and picked up the ball right away, and good start for Tegan Christensen.
So now Caution will be the batter, had a base hit and scored last inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a high outside fastball. Tegan brought it on that one.
Little extra on that one.
For sure. So the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Tegan blew it by him there, and it's 0-2 to Caution.
Well, and, you miss some games. He's not a senior, he's a junior, but you want to be out there with your teammates helping out, and you can't, and he's probably jacked up right now.
And here it is. High fastball, 1-2. So Tegan back on. Into the windup. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Christensen with a punch out of Jake Caution. 2 up and 2 down for Tyler McWilliams.
Pat Campbell called the off-speed pitch, and Christensen with a great spot on that. Outside, if he does hit it, it's not going to go anywhere, and he got him to chase, and 2 up and 2 down.
So here's McWilliams, 1 for 2 today. Here it is. Outside corner, strike 1.
Paint the black. Paint the black, Tegan.
Good song. Paint it black. 0-1.
Is that Air Supply or Carpenter? Who's singing that one?
Stones.
Stop the Stones.
Stop it. What are you? What?
I thought you were going old school on me. Yanni
Yeah.
was coming up or something.
Yo, thank you. 0-2 pitch coming up. Outside a ball. 1-2. That is Eric Hughes.
Eric Hughes, okay. I would assume probably a sophomore, junior.
Yep. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3, outside fastball. McWilliams couldn't get out to it, and there's 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It's still 4-3 Craig. Back at Riverside for the bottom half of inning number 6. Craig with a 4-3 lead on Verona. Grant Kelleher still in the game for the Wildcats.
Only fitting as we today celebrate, or not celebrate, but get the sectional track meets underway and qualifiers for state. Janesville Parker's Seamus Murphy wins the sectional title in the 100 as
Won it.
The week after his mother, Leslie Perry Murphy, was inducted in the Janesville Sports Hall of Fame. So
he was in attendance.
Like mother, like son.
I guess, flying down the track.
Leading off for Craig in the bottom of the 6th inning.
So here is the first batter for the Cougars. And it'll be Cody Lagerman batting for Micah Overly. And here's the opening pitch. Skips up there and blocked.
I got to believe you won some 100-meter dashes in your day, didn't you?
That would have been in probably 5th grade.
Well, see.
And again, that was against guys my
I was going to
size.
say that was a 2-man field probably. One guy fell down, so. Oh, now we might have I'm not sure what's going on here.
Pitching coach going out. I don't think that's DeRazio.
Maybe picked up something on that last delivery. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Nope.
he did. He picked
All
up
right.
something. Maybe. But Kelleher just didn't. He didn't look comfortable after he released that. So I don't know if it's his arm or
all right.
what's going on. But that'll end the day for him.
We'll get a new pitcher. Sam Pedersen, it looks like, is coming in to pitch. We'll see who goes out to right field. Pitching change here at Riverside. 1 pitch into Cody Lagerman, the pinch hitter. New thrower will be Sam Pedersen. We will step out and come back with the changes and rejoin our ball game. Back after this from Janesville Mobilizing for Change and Blackhawk Community Credit Union. It's 4-3 Craig, bottom of the 6th here on WCLO Janesville Beloit and online at WCLO.com. So in to pitch is Sam Pedersen for Verona. Michael Fisher goes to right field.
And again, don't want to speculate, but as Kelleher came off the mound and his teammates were there to greet him, I didn't see him slap anybody's hand with his right arm, which is what he was throwing with, and that's not a good sign.
No.
But again, I have any idea what's wrong. But that was didn't look like any other reason than just something didn't feel right.
Here's Cody Logderman. That's a little bit high on Logderman. 2-0.
Close the book on Kelleher, though,
Okay.
with 5 innings pitched, 10 hits, 4 runs. 3 of the 4 were earned. No walks and a strikeout, and he is in line for the loss right now.
All right, Patterson starts Logderman with 2 outside fastballs, and it's quickly 3-0 to the Cougar batter. That one's a strike. 3-1. Little tail on that fastball.
Yeah, and a little sidearm motion, too.
From Patterson. He's a quick worker. He's got what he wants. Just throwing gas. 3-1. That's the same spot for strike 2. It's full now on Logderman.
Yeah, he's got a little bit more giddy up in his fastball than Kelleher does.
Oh, for sure. So full count. Now maybe switching things up. Shaking off a sign from Grossnickel. Here it is. Right down the middle for strike 3, and Logderman turns on his heels and heads back to the bench. A strikeout victim. And there's 1 out. And the batter will be Jacob Hessling.
You know, that's a tough spot for Logderman because you look at 6 pitches and 7 pitches, and you don't take the bat off your shoulder. You're putting up there to pinch hit, try to get something going, and tough spot.
Here's the pitch to Hessling. Starts right down the middle for strike 1. 0-1 on Hessling. Jacob today. 1 for 2 with an RBI. Here it is. Ooh, nice curveball, but stayed upstairs. 1-1. One had some movement.
That did.
1 out, bottom of the 6th. 4-3 lead for Craig. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Inside fastball. 1-2. Tried to pull the hands in and got out in front of it a little bit.
And I don't know Verona's pitching depth. I don't know what their rotation's like, but I got to believe Pedersen's got to be in one of the top 2. He looks good out there.
There's a ball outside, even at 2-2. He looks pretty good.
He does. He may be a kid that if they get to the sectionals, Craig may see him.
Here's the curveball hit back up the middle. Ranging to his left is McGowan at short, and the throw to first, and Hessling is gone. So a 6-3 put out, and there's 2 up and 2 down for Tegan Christensen, who's doing the pitching. Tegan today, 2 for 2, raising that batting average from 500 way up there. Might now be at 750.
Well, that's, again, you don't have to tell anybody how many at-bats you had. I hit 750. That's all you got to tell them.
Swings and fouls one away. That one started to come inside on him. 2 down. Verona down to its last 3 outs. We'll have Brewer baseball for you tonight. First of 4 against the Mets.
Your first place Milwaukee Brewers as they continue to pad their lead.
Best 50-game start in franchise history.
Bronny's back tonight. Yep. Zach Davies is back tonight.
Yep.
But I still say you can't sit Aguilar when Thames comes back.
Hot. 1-1 pitch is in there for a strike. 1-2 on Tegan.
You got to find him. He's got to play.
That's a good problem to have.
It is, but it's a problem.
Yep. 1-2. Fouled from Christensen, right field line. Now it comes back, stays fair in fair territory, but making the running catch in right field is Michael Fisher. So 3 up, 3 down for the Cougars. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We will head to the 7th. It's 4-3 Craig. Josh and John back for what's hopefully quick 3 outs from Verona. Whoa!
Well, and that's at his teammates. Tegan Christensen had to run all the way back to the dugout, get his glove and his hat, and that's...
We do that in slow pitch.
Yeah, baseball 101. You got to help your teammates out, especially a guy pitching. You got to bring his glove and his hat to him so that he doesn't have to run all the way back to the dugout to get it. So he came out to warm up, and that first pitch was just a bit outside.
Faust is trading hat. Here's your real hat.
Here's your real hat.
So Christensen on the mound, finishing up warm-ups. Campbell's throw going to come down here. And as usual, is on the money to Berghammer.
Doesn't have a very good arm. I think that's his downfall. The
So
scouts are going to say, well, you don't have much of an arm, Jacob.
Can't really throw down there, buddy.
No, you really can't.
So the batter for Verona to start with will be a pinch hitter for Kelleher and will be Michael Fisher, who's in the game at right field. Kelleher left the game. And Fisher now in his spot in the 9-hole. So Fisher will bat. Verona with 3 outs. First pitch by Christensen down the middle on a fastball for strike 1. 0-1. Tegan winds and fires. Backhanded by Campbell down low. 1-1. Fisher, another lefty in this lineup. There's a letter high fastball. Ball 2. 2-1.
Yeah, important to get the leadoff hitter. You don't want to put him
Yep.
on base with the top of the order coming up in a one-run game. So Josh being attacked by a swarm of sweat
Wasp
bees.
there. Get that out of here.
They don't hurt as much.
No.
They hurt more the next day, yeah.
2-2 pitch. Here it is. Grounder to Malmanger, foul first base side. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Opening batter in the top of the 7th. Craig with a 1-run lead, 3 and a handshake. And the pitch from Christensen. High fastball.
Close.
And it's full now. I'm going to get this guy.
Almost chased. Yeah, well, don't miss and then tick him off so he tries to kill me and Murph.
I think he's already mad. Full count. Here's the pitch. Swung on in a grounder to Malmanger. Stays down on it. Takes it himself. And there's 1 up and 1 down as Fisher grounds to first.
Nice job there by
Yes.
Tegan. Again, you don't want to get that leadoff man
No.
on in the 7th
Throw
inning
strikes.
down a run.
Tucker Teskey.
So here's Teskey.
Cougars have held him in check 0 for 3.
Yeah, out of the leadoff spot.
Wasn't happy with Mr. Siles his last at bat as he took a call
No.
third and had to look for him like, are you kidding me?
There's another swing at the first pitch and fouls it back. 0-1 quickly to Teskey.
Cougars will be enjoying some brats and hot dogs and hamburgers after the game as part of senior night.
Excellent. I think I might stick around. There's a drive to the gap in right center. This is going to get all the way to the warning track. Teskey's going to get 2, maybe 3. Here comes the throw, and it's cut off by Berghammer. And a 1-out double from Tucker Teskey. And the tying run now at second base in scoring position.
Yeah, good job of hitting there by Teskey again. Went with a pitch. The Cougars had him shaded over to left, and they just don't think he could pull it. And he did and found the gap and standing on second with good speed. And your 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. So probably exactly where Verona would want to be down a run is having those kids up to bat.
So here's a pinch batter, and
Yeah,
we'll
and
be
here's the kid headed to Gonzaga. This is Stephen Lund, their best player. Who again, I don't know why he didn't start. If he's nicked up or what, I don't know. But
Stephen Lund.
they're going to put him on. So
Lund will pitch in and get a free pass
with him.
You should have seen Teskey at second, like, just put up his arms. Are you kidding me?
Well, again, you hate to put the go-ahead run on, and now Lund will come out. So that tells me that he's just not 100%. So he picked up a bat, reported,
And now
was
Hafner,
sent to first, and now headed back to the dugout.
Hafner is back in to run. So now here's Connor McGowan, 2 on and 1 out. That was great.
That was.
Good sequence.
Hey, you got in the scorebook.
Hey, why not? Free pass. McGowan is 1 for 3 today. Campbell calls time and calms everybody down. Christensen back on the mound. Runners at first and second.
Normal depth for the Cougar infield. Malminger's playing back a little bit, but not holding the runner on, and we'll see if they try to do anything with Teskey at second or if they just let him get a little bit of a lead here.
Here's a lead, and he is way out there.
And see, that's your greatest asset right now for Craig is having a kid like Campbell behind the plate because you know nothing's going to get by him. You can throw a pitch in the dirt, try to get somebody to chase, and Jacob's going to knock it down and keep those runners from advancing.
1-0 the count to McGowan. Here's the pitch. He swings and belts one to left. Hughes is back on it, but he's under it and makes the catch. And the throw comes in quickly to Blumgren. And now there's 2 outs.
Might have been one of Verona's most, barreled up balls all day. But right at Hughes had him played it perfectly, and Cougars down to their last out. And good way to end the regular season, head into the postseason. You can forget about yesterday and start over again. So one more to get, and Largen's all that's left between this and a 20-4 regular season for Craig, which is, despite the non-conference title, it's a pretty darn good season.
So here's Largent, the DH. 1 for 3 today. Throw back to second and a little bit high, but Teskey was way out there. Berghammer holding on him.
And Jake's mad at himself. He knows that ball's got to get down. The only chance is to keep that ball in the bag. And
might have had him. He was way off.
Might have had him. If you can put it into Berghammer's glove, you got a chance. But, that's a tough throw to make for a major leaguer, let alone a high school kid.
Largent took a strike on the pitch, so it's 0-1. 2 down. Runners at first and second. Craig up 4-3, trying to close the door. There's a curveball. Left field, a base hit. Hughes charging. Waves him in. There's going to be a play at the plate. Strong throw. Here's the throw. And he's safe. He got under the tag, and the game is tied. Wow. It's 4-4 in the top of the seventh with runners at the corners on an RBI single from Tristan Largent.
Just a little bit offline. Hughes with a good throw. A solid throw. Didn't hit the cutoff, and I think if he'd hit the cutoff, they'd have had no chance. A good throw up the line a little bit. Jake had to dive at him, but unfortunately for the Cougars, Teskey with his speed was able to slide around the tag, and we are all knotted up at 4.
And runners still at first and third, and still 2 down for Sam Pedersen. Here's the pitch. There's the runner that's going to go, Campbell. They got him picked off, but the throw's into center, and Verona's got the lead. Runner comes in from third, and Largent to second, and it looks like not many people on the same page on that play.
No, you got to give the air to Jacob Campbell on the throw, but I don't know if they were crossed up or what, but somebody missed a sign there, because if he was supposed to cut it off, he's got to be much farther in the infield than he was, but as it turns out, Verona with 2 runs with 2 outs, and they all of a sudden are ahead 5-4.
So the Wildcats have scored twice. They lead 5-4, and now a runner at second. Here's the pitch from Christensen, foul back against the netting, and it's 0-1.
And again, you hate
0-2.
You hate to beat a dead horse, but at this point of the season,
can't be making those.
You just can't make those plays. You've got to be on the same page. You got to be communicating, whether it's signals or a vocal, something's got to be done, because you just can't make that play on game number 24 with the postseason around the corner.
5-4 Verona, outside pitch for ball one. It's 1-2 now to Sam Pedersen.
Sometimes, and you see it a lot, you get too cute. Instead of just going after the hitter and getting out of the inning, you get too cute, and that's what happened there. Let them steal second, and you're still in good shape.
There's a pop-up to center. Back on it is March. Settles and will get it for the third out. So Verona strikes twice in the inning on 2 hits and 1 error and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 7th, but the Wildcats now lead it 5-4. Blomgren will lead it off, so it's the top of the order for Janesville Craig. Good time for Dan to check in today. He's 0 for 3. And then Campbell has laced one each time that he's seen it. And then Malmanger, who's also got a hit and a couple of runs batted in. So
I'd
productive first 3 guys here for the Cougars.
Blomgren find a way to get on, and Campbell can hit one in the tennis courts, or I guess now they're pickleball courts.
Yes, that's right.
And we can get out of Dodge.
So here's Blomgren. Third baseman is in with his speed. Everybody else is back. And Pedersen on the mound for his second inning of work. Opening pitch, windup, here it is. Outside and backhanded by Grossnickel. Still doing the catching for Verona. 1-0. Here comes Pedersen. There's a strike. 1-1 on Blomgren. He grounded to third, hit it to first base, and then lined out to second. Inside, 2-1.
And for Verona, I think more than anything else, you play them close on Tuesday. If you can find a way to hang on here and beat them, that's got to give you some confidence.
For sure.
If you get to that sectional where you'd have to play Craig again.
There's a hit to first, and it's scooped by Caution down at the ankles on a fly ball. So a line drive to first, 1 up and 1 down. Cougars with 2 outs remaining, and here's Campbell. Bases are empty. Can't really hurt you unless you go deep.
Right, and Cashin was playing line a little bit, because if that ball gets by him, Blomgren's still running. The right fielder's playing shaded over to left, and Blomgren's got at least a double, if not a triple, and that's with nobody out, but instead a line out.
Opening pitch to Campbell in the dirt. Grossnickel has it 1-0.
And again, when you're facing Jake Campbell, this is how you, if you're the visiting team, this is how you want to approach it. You know, you get him on, nobody on, one out. Again, the worst he can do is hit a home run to tie the game.
1-0 pitch from Pedersen. That hit him right in the back, and Jake gets a free pass. Looked like a curveball that just stayed out, and now here's Malmanger. You figure you might take a strike, but Pedersen's quick to home, so we'll see if Campbell will try and steal his third base.
Well, and earlier in the year we saw Luke hit one off the scoreboard to win a game, so let's see if it wasn't to win a game, but it was, well, it was to win a game because it made it the 10-run rule, but, you know, good spot for another one off the scoreboard.
Campbell away from first. Pedersen keeping an eye on him. Now he comes set and a quick throw, standing there, almost brought caution off the bag. One down. Campbell at first, Malmanger at the plate. Craig behind 5-4. Pedersen comes set this time. Malmanger squares to bunt. It goes off the catcher's mitt, and Campbell's going to get a free pass to second as Malmanger drew back. And it went off Grossnickel's glove, and now the tying run is at second base.
Yeah, Grossnickel's got to catch that.
For sure.
Even if you got...
That wasn't even anywhere, you know, that would make it difficult.
Yeah, I think they're going to put Malmanger on now. I mean, it's a go-ahead run, but I'd much rather face, you know, Berghamer and Schmeling with at least a force out on the bases.
Coach D'Orazio now out to the mound, and we'll see if we get a change or this just want to talk defensively. They haven't said that they're going to put Malmanger on yet. He's still got the bat in the hand.
Barker's still up 5-0 in the top of the seventh, so
All
the
right.
Vikings looks like it's going to be win number 9 in a row. And wow, what a difference half a season makes for the Vikes.
Last couple of weeks, they needed to finish hot, and they did.
Well, and I've talked to Mike Brooks and Brian Martin and some of those guys, and they said the biggest difference is A, they're starting to believe in themselves, but they've finally gotten that senior leadership that was lacking, I think, a little bit earlier in the season. And kids realize, hey, this is it.
There's two juniors and a sophomore, that's it.
This is it for the seniors. And, you know, I think the bar was set a little bit high this year because of the fact that they have so many seniors. And you know, they didn't start very well. They were struggling early, and now they've rattled off 9 in a row and, you know, picked up a number 2 seed. So good for them. And, you know, they're going to be a tough out in the tournament.
Pedersen back on the mound. Malmanger still at bat. It's a 1-0 count. Campbell away, and the ball in the dirt blocked by Grossnickel. And it's 2-0 on Malmanger. Figure you get to maybe 3-0, you just put him on.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if they gave anything to hit here, but you never know. I mean, again, this game, in the sense of where it is in the big scheme of things, doesn't matter. I mean, it's the seedings are out, the conference title's there. I mean, Craig could realistically, you know, still tie for a conference title, but the chances of Middleton and Sun Prairie losing to East and La Follette are slim and none, and I think Slim's already left town. So
2-0 pitch graces the outside corner for strike one. 2-1 to Malmanger. Here comes Pedersen back. Campbell goes to third, and Malmanger swings and fouls one over the Verona dugout. And it'll be 2-2 on the Cougar first baseman.
Yeah, and that was a hit and run. And it's tough to call that down a run with one out and your number 4 hitter up. If that's a line shot at caution, this game's over. But Luke stayed alive, kept it foul, and now you're 2-2.
One out, Craig down by a run.
Yeah, and Campbell would have easily stolen third on that. He got a huge jump.
Here comes Pedersen to the plate. Inside, grounder to third, pulled foul by Malmanger. Tried to jam him a little bit. Luke stays alive. One out. Bottom of the 7th here at Riverside.
I can honestly say about the third inning or so, I didn't think there's any way Craig would be batting in the bottom of the 7th inning.
2-2 from Pedersen. Here it is. Curveball hit to short. McGowan's going to have a long throw, and he gets Malmanger by a step. And there's 2 gone, and the batter will be Noah Berghammer.
And Malmanger runs well, so it's really McGowan with a nice play there. And I'm not sure if when Lund plays exactly where he plays, I don't think he catches because of that arm problem that he's had. So he may be the shortstop, and McGowan might just be a fill-in. But whatever the case is, a nice play there by McGowan, and the Wildcats are an out away from splitting the season series and picking up, I would think, for them, a big win heading into the postseason. I know they got a game tomorrow with Arrowhead, but still, knowing that Craig's in their sectional, if they beat them, That's a big feather in their cap.
Curve ball to Berghammer to start with. Goes low and outside. Noah today, 1 for 3 with a stolen base, a line out, and a strikeout. And he's ahead in the count, 1-0 to Pedersen. Here's the pitch. Ooh.
Just high.
Ball 2 on Berghammer. Schmeling to follow if Noah can get on base. Unless you want to blast one out of here. 2-0 pitch. Here it is. Outside corner. Delayed strike. 2-1.
There's your Jim Krause Riverside strike right there. That's probably our first one of the day. I did not think that that was in the strike zone, but we're not umpiring.
2 on the count to Berghammer. And the pitch. Curveball drops in high for ball 3.
Well, 3-1. Let's see if he wants to get cute here or if he goes after him. And, again, you got a base open at first, but you walk him, then you put the potential go-ahead run on first base.
3-1 pitch. Inside ball 4. Berghammer draws the walk. So winning run is at first, tying run at second, and the batter will be Clark Schmeling.
Now batting right fielder, Clark Schmeling.
Schmeling today, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. He's flied to center and he's flied to right.
And with the way Campbell runs, anything into the grass on the outfield, he's going to score. Unless it's an infield single, this game's going to be tied with any base hit to the outfield.
Outside corner, strike 1. Again, that tailing fastball.
Yeah, it is. And from up here, it's tough to tell, but it looks like it's outside. But, again, we're not seeing where it's coming across the plate. So it does tail, though. There's no doubt about that.
0-1 the count to Schmeling. Campbell away, nobody holding him. Here's the pitch. There's a strike right down the middle. And it's 0-2. Last strike, last out for Craig.
The Verona faithful are all fired up. They know they're one strike away from a big win. Craig fans hoping that Mr. Schmeling can come through in the clutch here and maybe drive one in the gap and give the Cougars a win.
0-2 pitch coming from Pedersen. Here it is. Goes after him. High bouncer to second. And the baseman's going to have to hurry, but he does. Hafner throws him out, and the game is over. So Schmeling grounds to second to end it for the Cougars. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. Final today at Riverside. Verona 5 and the Cougars 4. We'll be back to wrap it up here at Veterans Field after this from Oak Park Place and E&D Waterworks on WCLO Janesville Beloit and online at WCLO.com.